Hello everybody. Today we are going to read the story Froggy Plays Soccer by Jonathan London. Should we find out what Froggy does when he plays soccer? All right, let's see what happens in this story. Froggy couldn't sleep. He looked out the window. The full moon was rising. It looked like a soccer ball. Tomorrow's the big game, he said out loud. If we beat the Wild Things, we win the City Cup. Oh, he has a big important soccer game the next day. Pretty exciting. In the morning, Froggy was bursting to go. He pulled on his underwear, zap, tugged on his soccer shorts, zip, snapped on his shin guards, snap, snap. That must be the sounds of the shin guards and his clothes going on. Wiggled on his soccer shirt, zlim, pulled on his soccer socks, zoop, zoop, and put on his cleats, zup, zup. Froggy has some noisy soccer clothes and equipment. Froggy, called his father. Froggy's father was the assistant coach. What? Let's go. We'll be late for the game. Froggy flopped outside. Flop, flop, flop. Time to go to the big soccer game. Remember, said Froggy's dad. Well, he's going to tell Froggy some rules about soccer. Only the goalie can catch the ball, and you're not the goalie. Now repeat after me. Head it, boot it, knee it, shoot it, but don't use your hands. So in the game of soccer, the goalie is the person who's guarding, the player that's guarding the net where the soccer ball, that the two teams try to kick the soccer ball into each other's nets in order to score. And each team has a goalie to protect the net to keep that ball from coming in and the other team scoring. So the goalie is allowed to touch the ball with their hands, but nobody else is allowed to. And Froggy's not the goalie, so he has to remember he can't touch the ball with his hands, just his head, his knee, or his foot. Froggy's saying, head it, boot it, knee it, shoot it, but don't use your hands all the way to the soccer field. He needs to remember that when he plays the game. At the soccer field, the coach, Max's mother, said, "We're a team, we're the dream team. Hooray!" screamed the dream team. They are very excited to play their soccer game. Soon the game was on. Froggy was doing cartwheels. Froggy was picking daisies. Froggy was picking his nose. The ball bounced off his chest. He gave a mighty kick. Oh, and he missed the ball. I wonder if he missed the ball because he wasn't doing a good job of paying attention. But Max trapped it and passed it to BJ, who slammed it right into the net. So they slammed it into the other team's net and goal. It was 1-0 Dream Team. So Froggy's team scored 1 point. They made a goal in the net. Again, the two teams faced off. The whistle blew. The dream team charged down the field toward the Wild Things. Froggy was tying his shoe. Froggy's dad was yelling, "Defense, defense!" That means protect the ball from going into your net. The ball hit Froggy on the head, bonk, and knocked him down. He was great at defense. So I think he stopped the ball with his head. That was kind of a good thing. At halftime, the dream team held the lead. "Now remember," said Froggy's dad, and they all chanted together, "Head it, boot it, knee it, shoot it, but don't use your hands." The whistle blew and the second half started. A fly circled by. "Froggy," called the coach. "What?" "Keep your eye on the thwap." The ball smacked him in the eye. Again, Froggy wasn't paying attention to the soccer game and the ball hit him right in the eye. Ouch. Froggy was mad now. The wild things were stampeding, and Matthew, the dream team's goalkeeper, was chasing the ball. Now the goal was unguarded. Oh, they're going to kick that ball right into Froggy's team's net and make a point. This was Froggy's chance. He leapfrogged over Travis. He leapfrogged over Matthew. He leapfrogged over the wild things forward, who was firing the ball right into the net. Uh-oh. And what a save! Froggy caught it right before the net. But, uh-oh, he'd used his hands. You can't do that, Froggy. Oops, cried Froggy, looking more red in the face than green. His face is red because he's embarrassed that he made a mistake. He looked so silly the dream team laughed, but not for long. Poor Froggy. The penalty for using his hands was a free kick at the goal for the Wild Things. So the other team, because Froggy used his hands, the other team gets to kick the ball right into the net, and they did, and they scored. The Wild Things star forward kicked and scored. Now it was a tied game. So Froggy's team and the Wild Things each have 1 point. That's what's tied. That's what we call tied. When the two teams have the same score, they each have 1. But it wasn't over yet. And when there was 1 minute left, the crowd went crazy. The clock was ticking. The ball was coming right toward Froggy. "Froggy!" yelled his dad. "What?" But Froggy knew what to do. He jammed his hands in his armpits. He stuffed them in his pockets. He stuck them in his mouth so he wouldn't use them. Then he power kicked the ball so far down the field that it bounced over the goalie's head. Smack into the goal. Yes! Froggy scored another point for his team at the very end of the game. The dream team had won the city cup. They scored another point, so now Froggy's team has 2 points and the other team only has 1. And 2 is more than 1. So Froggy's team won the game. And they won the city cup. They won the championship. They shouted and danced. And Froggy sang, "Head it, boot it, knee it, shoot it. But don't use your..." That's right, don't use your hands. "Except to slap high fives." Slap, slap, slap. So he's doing a high five with one of his friends. Can you do a high five with me? There's my hand. Yay, good job. So that is the story of Froggy playing soccer. And we learned in this story that when you play soccer, you can't use your hands, but you can use your head, and you can use your knee, and you can use your foot to kick and bounce the soccer ball. So today we are going to try to do something with our head, our knee, and then you can also try it with your foot. So without using our hands. So what we're going to do, I'm going to see if I can balance this book on my head without using my hands. And I'm going to see if it will stay on my head for 5 seconds. So I'm going to put it on my head and count to 5. Should I try? All right, here we go. And this is something that you can try at home, but make sure you use a soft book, not a hard book, in case it falls. You don't want to get hurt. Okay, so I'm going to put the book on my head. No hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kept the book on my head for 5 seconds. Let's see. Froggy was able to use his knee to hit the ball, so I'm going to try to balance the book on my knee. Do you think I can balance it on my knee and count to 5? Let's see. All right, there's my knee, and there's the book. It's a little harder on my knee. Okay, no hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's something that you can try at home. See if you can balance a book on your head and count to 5. Balance it on your knee and count to 5. And you can even try balancing it on your, do you remember what other part of the body Froggy got to use to play soccer? Foot, that's right. Because he actually kicked the soccer ball with his foot to make the winning point at the end of the game. So try balancing a book on your head, on your knee, and you can also try to balance it on your foot. I hope it goes well for you, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.